All right. It looks like we're live. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Daybreak Live. My name's Krissi. I'm with Positively Osceola, and today we have a very special guest. I would really like everyone to say hello and welcome Sue Ring. Good morning,
Good
Sue. How are you?
morning. I'm fantastic. It's good to be here today. Thank you so much, Krissi.
Yay, you're welcome. We're going to be talking all about Leadership Osceola. We'll talk about the Chamber of Commerce, everything that has to do with all of that for Kissimmee and Osceola. And so we're excited to have you here today. How has your November been so far?
It's been great. I am loving this cooler weather, though I realize it's supposed to be a little bit warmer today. But, as an original Midwesterner, it's like I love to be able to wear sweaters for the 6 weeks out of the year that we're Florida. It's like boots and sweaters, boots and sweaters. So, but it's off to a great start, and we've got some great programming coming up. I can't wait to share with the audience. So we're real excited.
Good. Okay. Well, let's get into it. Let's make it official. I'll play our morning video and then we'll get going.
Sounds great.
If I can find it. I feel like every time I come on here, it's in a different spot. Here we go. Okay. I feel like I need to do this after every time I see that. Just like, yes. All right. Well, again, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Daybreak Live. My name's Krissi. I'm with Positively Osceola. And Positively Osceola brings news that informs, impacts, and inspires. And today we have a very special guest. So everyone, please say good morning to the fabulous Sue Ring. Hi, Sue.
Good morning, everybody. It's good to see you.
So, Sue, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about what you do, just so we have a little bit more understanding.
Sure. Well, everybody knows now that I'm originally from the Midwest. But technically, I am the Vice President of Strategic Initiatives for the Kissimmee Osceola County Chamber of Commerce. And yes, that all does fit on a business card, but it's a 4x6 card. No, I'm just teasing. So and I've actually been in the Osceola community for about 20 years. I've been over here at the chamber for a year now, but previously I was with an entity called Community Vision, which we did a lot of planning around big picture quality of life issues in Osceola County. And last year we kind of retired and brought some really important legacy programs over to the Kissimmee Chamber, and more importantly, the Chamber Foundation. A lot of people may know what a Chamber of Commerce is, and it's a membership organization that we are advocates for our business community. Our mission at the Chamber is champions for business and community, and we try to advocate and educate and inform our businesses. But the Chamber also has a foundation, which is kind of that philanthropic heart of the Chamber, and our programs complement the mission and vision of the Chamber of Commerce. It's not to say that our Chamber is heartless. Of course, our Chamber has great heart and passion for our business community, but the Chamber Foundation kind of takes the best of what we were doing over at Community Vision and convening, looking at our challenges that we have in Osceola County. Osceola County is a fabulous place. We have wonderful residents and businesses and lots of great things, but we also recognize we've got some things we need to work on. And so the Chamber Foundation looks at what those challenges can be, and we try to convene what we say are stakeholders. So it could be the business community, it could be local government, it can be citizens, it can be the faith community, and usually it's everybody. We bring everybody together and convene them and say, okay, if this is our challenge, what can we do about it to impact it? And we're just trying to improve the quality of life for our residents and for our business community so we can be a thriving economic driver, just a great place where we want to live and raise our families and work and grow old and retire and live a wonderful life. And so the Chamber Foundation has some priority areas. We have a Health Leadership Council, which convenes together health partners. So it can be local hospitals, our public health department, private health partners, insurance companies, but also includes kind of those folks you wouldn't necessarily think that impact health, like transportation planners and nonprofit providers and our career workforce development folks. We all come together and we've looked at a community health needs assessment, identified what some health challenges are, build a community health improvement plan. We've prioritized some areas: diabetes and healthcare access, substance abuse, making sure folks have access to substance abuse and mental health, and the social determinants of health, poverty, transportation, jobs, housing. How do we as a community come together and address those things, and what programs can we put in place that help improve and tackle those issues? And so that Health Leadership Council, I don't want people to think we're just sitting around drinking coffee every first Thursday of the month. We're really trying to build strategies that impact health in Osceola County. We also have a workforce development initiative where we're trying to ensure that the business community has the employees that they need and the trainings available for those employees to meet current business demands as well as future employment growth. We are really focusing on building a talent pipeline, and that starts in partnership with our school district and making sure that kids in school recognize those high growth industries, whether it's in construction or healthcare. They've got a fantastic pipeline initiative that we've kind of we're trying to emulate in other industries like hospitality or logistics or IT. How do we, since we're the voice of business, how do we hear from our businesses? What are your challenges? We know coming out of the pandemic, folks were displaced. For a long time, Osceola County, unfortunately, we led the community or led the state in unemployment, and we're trying to rebuild, make sure that our businesses are thriving. What talent needs do they have? Do our educational partners have the training, the skill development that those employers need, so we can make sure that we are training folks, whether they're kids coming out of high school, displaced adults, make sure that they have the skills that fit those business needs, not only for today, but importantly for tomorrow. So we can have that resilient workforce that really makes our economy thrive. And our last initiative, and why I'm really here today, I know I've been rambling for, probably 5 minutes now, but is Leadership Osceola. Having good leaders in our community. I mean, we hear all the time, if we only have leaders that would do this, well, what a great way to get immersed into Osceola County is Leadership Osceola. And it is a program that actually it started at the Chamber back in 1989. Then it went over to Community Vision, and now it's back home at the Chamber. So we've been doing this for over 30 years. And it is a community education immersion program. And what it is designed to do is to take representatives from our business community, our local governments, private citizens, the faith community. It's Osceola County School, for lack of a better term. And it's an opportunity for these representatives to get immersed into what makes Osceola County tick. And so it's, as I said, it's like going to Osceola County School. So for a period of about 6 months, you go on these field trips, or the class goes on these field trips and explores community issues or community topics, agribusiness, education, criminal justice, government services, economic development. We have a phenomenal planning team comprised of industry leaders. I ramble a lot, and sometimes it may sound like I know what I'm talking about. And people think, gosh, Sue puts these great days together. I have nothing to do with it. I just convene folks who best to tell you about education than our education leaders. And so we have folks from the school district that will come together and plan these days that help provide a snapshot to these individuals in the class so they can learn about how the trends and the tools that our education institutions use to educate our kids from K through 12 and continuing education. And so you'll hear from the school district. You might hear from private schools. You may hear from secondary education. You may hear from adult learning, just all the different things that go into how we educate and provide education in Osceola County. Then the next time it might be agriculture, or it might be environment. On the screen we see a picture of airboats, and we're so fortunate to have great industry partners that from our environment teams, Toho Water, Florida Fish and Wildlife, Boggy Creek Airboats, all come together to showcase what goes on in environment, what our concerns are, what we're doing well, where are opportunities where we need to, take a look at and address and make things better. And so it is, as I said, Leadership Osceola is just a great way for folks to learn about our community.
That is so cool.
So what the process is so, as I said, it's a class. And so it's about 30 to 34 individuals, and there's an application process.
I was going to say, how will someone apply?
Right. So as I said, and the goal, is not only for folks to learn about Osceola County, but it's to develop leaders. And so a great, how can you lead a community? And when we say, and I'm not just saying elected officials, obviously that's an opportunity for some folks. Have some of our elected officials, one is pictured there, use it as an opportunity to prepare as they want to run for higher office. But leaders come in all shapes and sizes.
Right.
You can be a leader in your workplace. You can be a leader in your faith community. You can be a leader in your neighborhood, and you can be a leader as a young one who's, very early in their career, as well as someone who's been in the workforce for quite a bit, has a seasoned history or a seasoned career. And but it's not necessarily, it's different from, say, a Citizens Academy, because this is more of a very thorough, in-depth look at what makes the community tick, what our business decision makers are, movers and shakers, because what the goal is, not only once you learn about the community, where you can get plugged in to make a difference. And that can be as an individual, or through your workplace, or through an advisory committee, where you can move the needle and make real impact. Because as I said, it is, sure, there's a lot of fun things in these pictures to show. You do some really cool things. You ride an airboat, and you might shuck fish, and you get to do some really cool hands-on activities, but it's purposeful learning. It's not just entertainment, and it's not just social. There's a responsibility at the end where we expect you to get involved and make a difference in the community. It's just, you have to have an understanding of what that is. And we're also adding some elements this year, including some curriculum. It's like school. So there's going to be some teaching that goes along with it. How do you effectively communicate? How do you facilitate a meeting? How do you lead groups to change? And so we're just trying to instill this well-developed group of leaders. Our mission for Leadership Osceola is creating a leaderful community. We want a community that's full of leaders from all walks of life, because we know it's going to take that kind of leadership. If there's anything the pandemic has shown, is the need for good leaders and decision making. And so Leadership Osceola is all about educating about leaders, about Osceola County. So you had alluded to, how do people apply for leadership? As I said, there is an application process. If you go to the Kissimmee Chamber website, right on the homepage, there's a picture that says join, apply for leadership today. It's an online application, fairly simple, who you are, what you're doing, but we also want to know, kind of rate yourself, what kind of leadership skills where are you in your leadership development, what you think a community challenge is, in a way that we can address it. I don't pick who goes through the class. We have hundreds of leaders that have gone through the program. We're very proud of our leadership alumni. They comprise our selection committee. So we have alumni who've gone through the program, know the expectations. They're the ones who do a candidate interview, look at all of the candidates and it's a competitive process. We don't get to take everybody to go through leadership. We try to, but it doesn't mean you have to be a C-suite executive to go through leadership Osceola. You could be 22, first job out of school. We've had leaders come from all shapes and sizes in all stages of their career development because we recognize that's where leaders come from. And so they make the decisions. They select the class in early February is when the program kicks off with a mandatory overnight retreat. It is a great way for you to really bond and get to know who your fellow classmates are. And then the program is every other Wednesday, full days. We expect you to so it's a big time commitment. You step away from your work, put your phone away. We want you to pay attention in class. And on that, every other Wednesday, you go on these insightful, interactive community explorations. And that goes on through mid-June. And at the end, there's a graduation ceremony. But then we expect we view that graduation as the beginning of your leadership journey. Now that you've learned everything, now what are you going to do about it? And so if people want more information about Leadership Osceola, they can certainly contact me directly at the chamber, sring@KissimmeeChamber.com. They can visit the website, the chamber website, and learn more information about Leadership Osceola. You can apply directly online. The applications, we're accepting them through January 10th. So you have plenty of time because there is a cost involved. And so, of course, there is a tuition, and we recognize that is an investment. We do have a limited scholarship program because we don't want money to be a barrier, but we do recognize that some of our smaller businesses, it can be a significant challenge. And so we have a limited scholarship program, but there's a tuition involved and a big time commitment. It's really important. You can't just check in for a short period of time. You got to be all in. So we ask if somebody is interested in the program to really look at those dates to ensure that they can participate each and every single day. And as I said, retreat, which conflicts with the fair, not the rodeo. We learned a lesson not to conflict. Never conflict with the rodeo. But if you've got to be in for the whole thing because it's so important. And once you get into the program, you see why. If you miss a day, you miss a lot. And it's not like, well, you can catch up on Environment Day in 2 weeks. It's like Environment Day happens once and then it's done. So again, it's a phenomenal program. And again, it's for anybody who really wants to become a leader within our community and is willing to make that civic engagement commitment to learn about Osceola County and be willing to make a difference in our community.
That's amazing. And it sounds like such an awesome program. So first of all, thank you for putting in your own time and effort into running the chamber, right? I think that's amazing. But then also you're giving people and young people especially an opportunity to grow and be a part of the community in that way.
And that's really important for us, is that we recognize that we're trying to build young leaders. And years ago, we even used to do a teen leadership program, but that's a whole nother segment that maybe we'll come back to it someday. But
there you go.
But as I said, it's not just for, the suits and ties that sit in the big level C-suite offices. I mean, we want to instill younger leaders, those who are going to make roots in this community and raise families and build their careers throughout a longevity. And so it's important for us to instill leadership very early on so we can just have thriving decision makers to make Osceola County continue to be a great place to live.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for being a part of today's interview.
It's been my pleasure. Again, if anybody wants information about Leadership Osceola, just contact the chamber. Program kicks off early next year. I look forward to seeing lots of applications.
Awesome. Okay, great. Well, thank you again, Sue, for coming on this morning and sharing everything about Leadership Osceola. It's been a pleasure. I know I've learned a lot, so I know other people will too.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.